All right, Monarch crew, it's the finale episode of Season 1. Old friends reunite, father-son bonding, and the Shaw crew being sucked into a rift that would put a smile on Helen Hunt's face. Yes! We're going back to the future as we get into Episode 10, the finale of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Hollow Earth time, or rather a completely different realm, the world between worlds. Not the weird Star Wars thing in Ahsoka, but Axis Mundi, last week's episode's title. So you, me, anyone wondering how the hell none of the Shaw crew died due to the sheer gravitational pull and not using the Godzilla vs. Kong heaves that were needed in that movie, don't worry, the writers explained it away. This is essentially pieces of our Earth and Hollow Earth smashed together as we find out Keiko, in fact, did find the wrecked site of Operation Hourglass and repurposed the tech to send a distress signal. The most heartbreaking part of this episode, though, is Shaw and Keiko's reunion. Obviously, it's been roughly 57 years on Earth, but Keiko believes it's only been about 56 days. She has no clue about the time dilation down there, where one day equates to 1 year. And her seeing the old Shaw, learning about her husband Randa, who was no doubt doing all of his Hollow Earth research to find Keiko, and how Hiroshi is now an old man, is a straight-up interstellar Cooper talking to Murph heartbreak at its core. Keiko surprisingly comes to an even keel fairly quickly, realizing that all of this kind of makes sense because of the gravitational distortion, warping time and space, meaning that, yeah, Shaw and the others are 100% telling the truth. But now they gotta get the heck out of there before even more time passes on Earth. So she and Shaw MacGruber the operational Hourglass wreckage, reversing the signal to, in theory, latch onto the space warp stream of a Titan, much like Operation Hourglass, and ride their coattails to the surface. While they work on piecing it all together, there's an offhanded comment about flying cars, which has gotta be a Back to the Future reference because present day in this series was 2015, and Back to the Future 2, the future timeline, is 2015.
Oh, this is heavy.
The plan is a go, but that darn ion dragon is a thorn in everyone's side once again, being attracted to the beacon rather than a Titan coming from Earth and taking them to the surface. Funny enough, this is the huge, and I'm using huge as a loose term, brawl with Godzilla saving the day, going fisticuffs with the dragon, allowing the others to escape in the old pod. However, with anything like this, there is a snag, a final sacrifice to save the others, as Shaw has to do his best Bruce Willis Armageddon impersonation, allowing the others to get sucked up into the rift, leaving him stranded in Hollow Earth. Now, I thought Godzilla saving the day was a solid choice, but the fight was a bit of a letdown, as we've been waiting week in and week out, and I'm saying Shaw is probably not entirely lost. Everyone on Earth is going to try rescuing him in a hopeful Season 2, where they've all aged, but he hasn't, potentially tying in with future movies or other MonsterVerse properties. Briefly touching on Kentaro and Hiroshi's stories, as the two essentially bond over rescuing Kate from Hollow Earth. Hiroshi has already lost one person, him and his wife are divorcing, but she says Hiroshi should still have a relationship with his son despite the divorce. The beginning of the series starts with a fractured family, hidden secrets, broken pasts, but all is forgiven in a sense as #family essentially saves the stranded crew at the end of the day. Well, that and like Tim's ideas and of course lots and lots of money from Apex. Kablamo, the marooned crew luckily makes it back to our world, but instantly I knew something was amiss when I saw the more sleek white radiation simulator and blue hue neon lights. These are the stylings of Apex as we saw in Godzilla vs. Kong, and surprise, surprise, Kentaro and Tim are teamed up with Brenda from Apex to bring them back. A direct result of the conversations between the pair at Kentaro's secret bar, informing him that Kate and the others may still be alive because of the signal that Barnes found last week. This merger of Kentaro, Hiroshi, Tim, Monarch, and Apex is interesting because it further explains how Mechagodzilla came to be. I'm assuming some of the research that Monarch had on the big lizard man was given to Apex through either Tim or Hiroshi. I think this is no doubt setting up pieces to come into play in the new Empire movie coming out later this year at the end of March. Anyway, as we learned in Hollow Earth, or the world between worlds, 1 day down there equates to 1 year on the surface. So this is now sometime in 2017, depending on what month that this series started in 2015. So anyone keeping track of the MonsterVerse timeline, Kong Skull Island was in 1973, Godzilla takes place in 2014, Monarch starts in 2015, then Monarch ends in 2017, with Godzilla King of the Monsters taking place in 2019. So there are roughly 2 years of shenanigans we don't fully know about, but the final reveal of this station being on Skull Island, I'm telling you, freaking Skull Island, what, huh? You
didn't see that coming?
Because surprise, surprise, the big old monkey man comes stumbling through the trees at the end of this. It's interesting. Because at the beginning of Godzilla vs. Kong, Kong is held in a Monarch containment facility. Keyword, Monarch. Yet this right now looks like a joint effort between Apex and Monarch. So moving forward, it already seems that there's going to be double agents in the Monarch system. This is what Brenda wanted Korra to do for her. But the bigger question is, how the hell did Kong get trapped in a big-ass Monarch containment facility? Sure, they will use the radiation simulator to draw him into the direction that they want, but this big-ass facility needs to be built and fully functional by 2024. It is 2017, so 7 years to ship the materials to Skull Island, build it, lure Kong in, contain him, and then decide to ship him out because of the storm. Now, it's plausible because, I don't know, example. Okay. The Mall of America is huge. Just go with me. And that took 3 years to build. So we have to assume that Apex teamed up with Monarch and used their finances, power, and research to speed up the building process. In doing so, they no doubt did this to study Kong further, essentially like the restricted research that Korra discovered on the lab monkeys, but, to a much bigger level. Apex already, built a giant mechanical lizard. I think it's safe to assume that they are going to have a big old mechanical Optimus Primal looking mofo pop up in the next MonsterVerse movie. Is it a stretch? But how do you explain any of this? Please let me know your thoughts on this final Kong reveal in the comments. Overall, I think Season 1 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters was a fine series. It was a slow start, diving into the drama of these characters, and I really dug the dual timeline structure, seeing how things impacted one another. I wish there was more of that, kind of interplay, and in my opinion, the 1950s and 60s timeline was way more appealing, just because I enjoyed the chemistry of the trio so much more than the chemistry of the whiny trio. Casting Wyatt Russell and Kurt to play the younger and older was maybe the coolest, smartest choice ever in this series. Whoever pitched that, give them another $1 or $2. My biggest bugaboo, though, is the fact that the monsters no doubt took a back seat. Yes, I know the show is called Monarch, and the budgets probably weren't there for Godzilla and crew to be wreck and shop every single episode, but with the subtitle of Legacy of Monsters, it felt a bit lackluster. However, when those monster boys were present, they were fleshed out and looked way better than a streaming service should. I'm going to give Monarch Legacy of Monsters a solid 7.5 out of 10. The lows were some of the acting and drama from the Kate, Kentaro, and Korra crew, but the past timeline, monsters, and connections to the MonsterVerse movies easily won me over. Connecting things like Apex and potentially setting up stuff we're going to see in Godzilla x Kong, the new Empire, makes me even more interested in that upcoming movie. Heck, give me a season 2 of this show. I will be there for it. Anyway, that is Season 1 of Monarch in the books. They've definitely set up something here or there for a season 2 to take place leading into King of the Monsters. And if a season 2 happens, I can see Shaw coming back leading into the time between King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, because there's like a 5-year period there as well. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts were on season 1, good, bad, and what theories or ideas you may have for a season 2 if the series heads in that way. Comment everything down below. Also, thank you so much for everyone for stopping by every single week to watch these videos. I am a one-person team, so it really means a lot. If you haven't, please subscribe and come back for more, because 2024 is going to be packed with new shows to dive into. Anyway, a new giveaway competition has started up, as we'll be giving away 3 more random 2023 Blu-ray movies on the 15th of January, and all you gotta do to get a chance of winning this is like this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Monarch. We picked the comments at random, and the winners of our last giveaway are listed on screen right now. So if that's you, DM me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And if you haven't, please check out all of my other social media accounts, including my new Retro Rewind channel in the description. I may experiment with some of the 100 video ideas I have written down, so please stay tuned. Peace out, everyone. You're the best. Thank you so much. And yeah, bye-bye.